Prepare for combat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name is Colin Campbell. I'm with Polygon. You're looking at Lawbreakers from Bosky Productions, which is being published by Nexon later on this year on Windows PC. It's, as you can see, a competitive first-person shooter. We're going to see about 5 minutes worth of action here. The action takes place, or it took place, during a recent press event where members of the media, including yours truly, and some of the developers sat down and played a competitive match for a pre-E3 event. I was absolutely terrible at this game. It was my first time playing, but I am pretty terrible at first-person shooters generally. But some of the developers that we'll see here are actually pretty good at it. So you'll get a sense of the game at its best. What we'll see here is a sense of this map where we're playing the mode which is called Turf War. And what Turf War is it is what it sounds like. You need to get 13 points by taking over 3 different areas in the map and holding them for a certain amount of time, and if you manage to do that, you get a point. So the two teams, you've got the Law team and the Breakers team, are up against each other, and you can see a few of the different characters, the different classes here at work. I've tried to with this B-roll, I've tried to switch between different sections. You can see the machine gun going there and the usefulness of that. Now, the thing about Lawbreakers is, which makes it, I think, pretty interesting, is the use of gravity in certain sections of the map. There are sections of the map which you just run around and just like you normally would, but there are other sections which are affected by a lack of gravity, and in those sections you can sort of jump up and use gravity. And what they've done, I think cleverly, the designers, which includes Cliff Blazinski, who's pretty well known, and Arhun Bruce, who worked for EA in the past. He's a very good game designer. What they've done is created this idea of verticality being super important, so that you always you've got to think in 360 degrees. You've got to always be thinking about what's above you and what's below you. And in fact, all of the characters, all of the classes have this ability to shoot behind them as they're on the move, so that if you're kind of falling downwards towards the ground in a gravity situation, you can sort of shoot behind you, which would be up at somebody behind you. And so you've really got to think on your feet, which is completely the wrong analogy, because you're very rarely actually on your feet. You're spending a lot of time up in the air. As you can see, it's created in Unreal Engine. I think they've done a good job about with creating a look here that it doesn't have that sort of like grimy retro look about it, but also isn't too cartoony. I do worry about this game's commercial chances, even though having played it, I think it really plays quite solidly. I didn't play it for that long, but it feels solid. It feels really competently put together. But obviously right now, with these competitive shooters, there is a lot of competition out there, and we've seen recently that games can come out and fail commercially. So I'm kind of hoping though that this game does well, because I think that once you get in there with your mates and you start playing, you're going to have a good time. When I played this, I did have a good time. I enjoyed playing with some of the different classes and trying them out, and really I think this is one of those games where you have to practice to get good at it and to figure out all the different abilities that each character has. I mean, you look at one of the characters like Kintaro, the Enforcer, has an assault rifle as well as a kind of a close quarters shock attack, but also has a special ability which is to stop opponents using their special abilities, as well as a rocket launcher. And you put all those things together and you're moving very quickly. It's a lot to keep a hold of during the game. Here we are now in a situation where the score is 11-9. We're getting towards the final 13, and you look at something like the assassin class, such as the character Helion and Kitsune. They have these arc blades which allow them to sort of Spider-Man style swing through the levels and really take advantage of sort of time and space, because you've got these boosts which allow you to move very quickly through through the level, but obviously that has quite a long cooldown time, so that you've got to use them pretty carefully. Do I want to get straight into the action after I've been killed, or do I want to use it at a more opportune time when it would be really useful in a close combat situation? So the game, it's being shown at E3 this week. I think it's got a lot going for it. When they were first talking about it, it was a free-to-play game. I was just like, wasn't all that interested in it. But having played it, having heard some of the feedback from people who've been playing it in beta, and looking at some of this footage, I think it is pretty good fun, and I'm hoping to spend some more time in it, and so try to get at least almost as good as some of these developers.